take the shot. Every idea, give it all we got. Fans and voices unite the lot. This is the place where legends are made hot. Welcome to the table, grab your seat, where passion runs wild and the world's all me. Debate it, play it, live it loud and proud. Are you ready? Together with pride worldwide. This is for the dreamers, rebels and crew, for the fans in the back and the diehards too. Break the chains, let the passion ring. We're calling out hate in the squared off ring. Kicking out at 2, where the love runs deep and the fight stays true. Kicking out at 2, no tribal lines, just respect me and you.
Species, Days, and all those who slay, from wrestling TikTok trenches to the world of hot takes fandom and everything in between. Today we're finding out what happens when being a wrestling fan becomes a full-on personality. Welcome to Kicking Out 2. I'm Michael, and I'm flying solo for this work in the shoot, but tonight I'm excited to welcome someone who's built a serious following, doing many things, including something every fan loves to do, talk about wrestling. She's a TikToker, a passionate fan, and someone who's carved out her own corner of the wrestling internet by bringing her personality, her opinions, and the love for the business to the screen. She's got the reactions, she's got the hot takes, and she's definitely got something to say. Hey, it's Renae. Hi, Renae.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you today?
I'm great.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. We were talking about it a little backstage. I've been watching you for a while. Before we get into, like, obviously the wrestling stuff, I know just because I've been watching you long enough, that's not what this started with, this whole social media buzz that you were doing. So let's hear about that. What was happening before you got into the wrestling?
So I'm a huge Kane Brown fan, for those people that don't know. So when I first started making content, it was about Kane Brown. I used to go to like all of his concerts and stuff like that. But I've been watching wrestling my whole life. My parents got me into it, and I don't know, one day I just decided, like, let me make a video about wrestling, and then it kind of blew up, and that's just kind of how I started. It was never something I planned on doing or happening, but it just kind of did, and I'm very happy about it because I think I'm pretty funny. I think I'm pretty good at what I do, so
Well,
I
sometimes
enjoy
it's
it.
natural like that. That's actually kind of what we started this podcast on. We were watching Judgment Day in 2006, I think it was.
Oh my God.
And it was Great Khali versus Undertaker. Great Khali beats Undertaker clean with basically just one move. And Tori, my partner, went on like a 15 or 20-minute rant about it. And I'm feeding off of her, and we're talking about it. Everybody in the room was cracking up, having fun. And then once it was over, I just kind of looked at her and I was like, we should have recorded that. Like, that would have been fun just to have. And then it was about, I don't know, 10 years later, I was like, hey, I've got all the stuff. Do you want to do the podcast? Like, we can just do this and just figure this
Wow.
out. So, like, sometimes it all starts with that. It's just you have a moment of like, I think this would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you got into wrestling? You said you've been watching it forever. Do you remember getting into it? Like, what pulled you in for the first time?
So I'm a huge Hardy Boys girl. I'm a Matt Hardy girl, to be specific. That really got me into wrestling. I actually have this really old picture of my dad and I when I was really little, and I have a Hardy Boys shirt on. That pulled me in. I also loved DX. Triple H was one of my favorites growing up as well. I remember my dad and I went to a show. I don't know what it was, but it was like one of my first wrestling shows that I can remember. And I was so excited to see Stone Cold Steve Austin for like the first time I get to see him. And he wasn't there. And I was really sad. I remember crying my eyes out. And my dad was just like, it's going to be okay. And I'm like, it's not okay. Like, I was so upset. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess my parents, they told me that, when my mom was pregnant with me, like they went to a lot of shows in Vegas because that's where I was born before I moved to Arizona. And so I feel like from the womb, I became a wrestling fan. I think it was just kind of always in my blood, and I didn't know that it was going to happen, but I'm very happy that it did because I love it so much. So,
Mine's kind of similar to that. So there's a picture of me on my dad's knee watching. I think it was WrestleMania 3. just sitting on his knee watching it. And I don't remember that, but like I don't remember a time when I wasn't watching wrestling. It's always
Yep.
kind of been there in the background. Um, I think the thing that pulled me in is I watched it was back in the tape trade days. There was a tape called "The Biggest, the Baddest, the Strangest, the Smallest,"
Mhm.
and there was a workout video with Hillbilly Jim, and it's him just in this rickety old shack with his hound dog, and he's wrestling his hound dog, and he's doing bear hugs to tires. And I don't know why that just caught my attention. I'm just like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen in my life. And so just I decided at that point, like I want to watch this stuff forever. And I was one of the few people that I never had the lull. Like you always hear, like, well, when you get that age where boys start noticing females, they start getting out of it. And no, I was always into it, which is probably why I didn't have a very successful love life in high school.
Oh
But
my god.
I do love hearing the fact that you were a Matt Hardy girl, though, because I'm also one of the weird ones. I was a Jeff fan. I don't want to say I wasn't a fan of Jeff's, but I
Oh
was
yeah,
always
same.
pulled more towards Matt. So much so that like when I was going through my workout phase doing wrestling in high school, like his picture was up on my wall of like that's the body I'm working for. And
Mhm.
so like that was always my inspiration. But like I've always felt like he was the I don't want to say better Hardy because that sounds horrible to say, but like I always felt he was a better one. He should have been the one pushed instead of Jeff. And
I feel
like,
like he was super underrated and people didn't give him enough credit. Nothing against Jeff Hardy, like I love him so
no,
much.
he's
I
he's a good
love
kid, but
Matt Hardy.
like I always felt it was kind of criminal that Jeff got a world title before Matt did. That
Matt
was
did.
that was
Yep.
just weird. But again, nothing against Jeff. Jeff's a wonderful person. I'm glad he's past his demons. That's he's
Yeah.
had a rough time in his life. Um, how did the name come about? Was it just that, hey, it's Renee? Was it just like I'm just going to do this, or
So I think it was I don't know, because every time I answer the phone, I'm always or if I call someone I'm on the phone, I'm always like, "Hey, it's Renee," and then I'm like, that would be a really good social media name because my social media name used to be It's a Renee Life. My dad and I used to travel a lot and go to a lot of wrestling shows. We went to all the Dolph Ziggler's comedy shows and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna like talk about all the traveling my dad and I do for wrestling. And then it got into like 2020, and I remember saying that all the time on the phone. I'm like, hey, it's Renee, and I'm like, I'm gonna start a TikTok and I'm gonna name myself Hey It's Renee. I think that's a great name. So that's what I ended up changing my name to. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that I did because I still say it to this day when I'm on the phone. I'm like, hey, it's Renee. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, I'm never gonna forget what my name is. So it's nice.
well, that's good to know. It's not good to forget what your name is, so that's good.
That's true. That's true. I've changed my name a lot on mostly on X. I've changed my name a lot. Like for a while I was the Dolph Ziggler girl, which obviously a lot of people know about.
Hmm.
But I kinda wanted it to be about myself and not like nothing I'm still a Dolph Ziggler girl, don't get me wrong, like, I
Yeah,
still am, but I was like, "If I'm gonna make social media, I gotta have, like, my name out there so people know who I am." And I could still resonate with him, obviously with Ethan Page and everything. As I say with I'm wearing an Ethan Page girl shirt, uh, I would not change my name to that, you know what I mean? Like, I
right.
would keep my name as myself so that I can still have my own identity on top of it, so
That's why I ended up making separate socials for the show because my name for a long time on social media has been horror wrestling. I'm a big fan of that music, and
yeah.
so that came about. Ace of Spades was my entrance music when I was wrestling in high school, and
Oh,
like that was something I loved, and I just can't give that up. And so like I
yeah.
decided, all right, I'm going to make a whole separate thing just for the show.
Account.
That way, it's I can keep that in my lexicon for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. Real quick, we got Zach Minger in the chat. He always loves coming in and telling us what day it is. It's National Peach Day.
Oh, I have a cat named Peaches. That's interesting.
Okay, well,
Oh,
so we got to do pet talk now. How many pets do you
oh
have?
gosh. I have 2. I have 2 cats. I used to have a dog, but he passed away 3 years ago.
Oh,
So, and I have not gotten a new dog yet because I just feel like I don't know. Nobody's ever gonna be Coco. That was his name. No one's ever gonna be him. I had him for 13 years, which was crazy. But I have 2 cats. I have a black cat named Salem, and then I have an orange cat named Peaches.
nice. Apropos with the Salem name, is it
Salem
Sabrina
is
the
because
Teenage
of
Witch thing, or
you would think so, but it's because of Hocus Pocus.
okay? Well,
My husband and I love Hocus Pocus, so his actual name is Salem Binks Wallace, which is obviously our last name, so, And then Peaches, everybody thinks that, so when we got him, it was when the Mario movie came out. So I
Oh,
was like, Peaches, 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 Peaches. And I was like, no, that's not why. I actually named him that because the Justin Bieber song
oh,
Peaches.
okay.
My
Oh,
husband wanted to name him Cheeto, which would have been a really cute name, but
I was thinking
Peaches.
American presidents, but
Oh, I guess that would make sense, but no.
okay. Well, let's get back on topic here. When you first started making wrestling content, did you have any idea that it would turn into what you're doing today, or was it just you were just
No.
wanting to have fun and do it?
So I think what it was, the very first video I made was if you know these like 5 theme songs, you're a real wrestling fan or something like that. So I previously did one of Kane Brown, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should do wrestling themes because I love wrestling theme songs. I listen to them all the time. And I did that. I went to bed, didn't think anything of it. I woke up the next morning and it just went extremely viral. And I was getting followers like crazy. And I'm like, oh, is this my thing? I guess wrestling and like, not that it hasn't been, like, I've obviously loved wrestling my whole life,
Right.
but I didn't expect for that to be, like, something I was gonna make content out of. So I was just like, "Okay, I guess I'll start doing that." Just a fun little story for anybody that knows BDE, who was a YouTuber before he got signed to TNA.
And it's
I
great.
used to I love him so much. He's a really great friend of mine, and I used to watch him on YouTube during COVID, and I was thinking about making wrestling content because of him, and then I was like, "I don't know, like, I'm a girl, like, I don't know how that's gonna go, blah, 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 blah." And then eventually I did end up doing it. So just shout out to BDE. I always give him a shout out for that because I feel like if it wasn't for him inspiring me, I probably really wouldn't have taken that chance to do it. So I think that's really cool.
That is cool. It's always good to have that inspiration as far as something to spark you. Ironically enough, in the same family, mine that made me finally decide to buy the stuff and do all that and decide to do it was Chris Danker.
Oh, wow.
So I used to
That's
watch
really
him with
cool.
his Call of Duty stuff, and then he started doing the wrestling content. And of course, now he's an indie wrestler, which
Yeah.
great that he's out there doing that. Hopefully, he gets signed at some point somewhere. I will say it's very similar with the Matt and Jeff thing. I was a little confused that BDE got a contract before Chris
Oh,
did, but
God.
but I love BDE. It's such a great kid. Like I love
Yeah,
watching his stuff. He's got a great attitude. And really just kind of took to it too. Like I'm amazed at how great he already is.
I
Um,
know.
of
I
course,
love watching him.
shout out to AJ for like he made him look great too. Like
Oh, yeah, for sure.
when and another underrated person too. Like I think AJ did not get the credit he deserved in WWE, obviously, and
Uh-huh.
I love that they're really pushing him, DNA, giving him a good platform to be on, and letting him do his other stuff like his music, because he's good at that too.
I think
Um,
that's something I really love about TNA is that they let wrestlers do other things outside of it as well. Like for instance, Nick Nemeth gets to do comedy shows and stuff like that. Like he still keeps gets to keep doing that, and I think that's really cool. So
Yeah, I'm hoping that what we're seeing now, WWE is kind of loosening the strings on that a little bit because, like
yeah,
now that Matt Cardona's back, he still gets to do his action figures. He still gets to do his podcast. Like they're still letting him do all that stuff. So hopefully that's going to loosen that up a little bit and be like, all right, they can go have their own thing. It doesn't have to
yeah,
all just be about wrestling. Uh,
right.
do you approach content creating differently than when you first started? Are you more advanced now or changed your process
Oh,
now?
definitely. I would never go back and watch my old videos. It's so cringe. I got way better at editing. Taught myself how to do it. It was a lot because I didn't know anything about like social media and stuff. So I've gotten a lot better about it. I've done a lot more things, been a lot more creative with what I've been doing. So yeah, I definitely think I'm a lot different. Also, I think TikTok from 2020 to TikTok now is a completely
Yeah.
different platform. So
Yeah,
definitely, I think I've definitely changed.
it's a weird animal. Like that's the one place like when we first started that initially we were doing really well on, and I never understood why. Because at the time
Yeah.
I wasn't cutting things up; we were just doing the long form, and that was it. And I'm like, well, why is this working on this platform where it's supposed to be like 60 seconds and that's it, that's all you do? But like our live stuff is what was getting us reactions. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll start doing some clips and throw out there too and see what's happening. Um,
That's crazy.
it's such a
It's
weird
weird because it
thing.
used to be like a dancing
Yeah.
app thing, like that was all what it's all about. And I was like, I'm not doing that stuff. And then now it's become like YouTube now, and I love it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, this is what I wanted. So
Well, and for those of us that are old heads and remember Vine, I'm glad
yes,
it's kind of morphed into basically what Vine was, because I think that was a
Yeah.
great place to be. It had a lot of great content on it, and it failing, unfortunately, took a lot of those people out, like of that
Hmm.
were doing really well.
Yeah.
Um, what's something being a wrestling content creator, and I know you're gonna have opinions on this because I've heard you talk about this on your own stuff.
Okay.
What is something that people on the outside probably don't understand about being a content creator?
Oh goodness. I would say that people get really invested in your life, like your outside life. Um, what else is there? I would say that people don't see like they'll see like a 5-minute video and think like, "Oh, this like you just filmed and then you put it up." And it's like, "No, I have to edit it and make sure that I did it correctly. I have to make sure the lighting is great. I have to make sure the microphones are right. I have to make sure that everything is great before I put it out there because I want it to be the best that I can make to put it out there, you know? Like so I feel like people think that because you're posting a video so quickly that it was just like you're filming it and posting it. And it's like,
No.
no, no. Like it sometimes it takes me hours to edit some of my videos, and then there's other videos like, yeah, I do post it really quickly and I don't even think about it, but majority of the time, like, I edit stuff out, like, I've been posting reaction videos from, like, every Monday because I go live every Monday, and sometimes I'll cuss, and I'm like, "Maybe I should bleep out my cuss words," and that takes a lot of
It
editing
does.
to bleep out cuss words, let me tell you. So, I don't know, I think I'm just like, "Oh, people don't understand how crazy editing is," and my head starts to hurt when you're staring at a screen for so long. I love it. I will never ever complain about this job of mine, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I know people have it way worse than I do, so I'm not going to complain, you know.
Speaking of it being a job, like I heard you say in a recent video uh, that people assume that you make all your money from the content itself,
Mhm.
but you were talking about, it's more about the brand deals. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. I'm such a very open person about these things because I get people that tell me all the time they want to be a content creator. I don't make anything on views. TikTok changed. I used to make money off of views a couple years ago, and things changed, and now I don't anymore. So majority of my money comes from working with brands. The biggest thing I told people, which I said this on social media, is to have your email address on all of your socials because that's how brands will find you and how they will connect with you if they want to work with you. And that's helped me a lot. Also, doing like certain brands, like you can call them out in a video and like be like, hey, like I want to, like with 500 level, I will just share this. I love them so much. I reached out to them and was like, hey, listen, I love your Ethan Page shirts. Is there any way that I can work with you? Is there anything I can do? Like, I want to do it. And they were like, absolutely. And now I've been working with him, which has been amazing. And I'm so happy that I get to do that. Don't ever feel like it's a bad thing to reach out to brands because it's not. Like a lot of times it's okay to reach out to them, but that's where you will make majority of your money unless you're a YouTuber. Obviously, they make a lot of money on views and stuff. But as like a TikTok or Instagram person, like I literally make nothing off of views, unfortunately. Maybe that'll change in the future, but as of right now, I don't make anything on it. So,
Well, I would say on the YouTube side, like the ego needs to go to the side a little bit on some of that stuff.
nice. I see what you did there.
Um, but like, so we've recently been getting into interviews, and it's literally just been a couple of months that we've been doing this, but it's been like one after another of these
Yeah.
wrestlers, and it's the shooting the fish in the barrel thing, of like we'll send out 8, 10 different requests to see if someone wants to be on. We might get one response, and then we
Yeah.
book that one response, and then we find 10 more people. Like we just keep putting
Keep
them out
going.
there because
Hmm.
it's not wrong to ask them. The worst thing they can
No,
do is say no.
say
So
no. Yeah.
so
No,
there's
I
nothing
agree.
wrong.
I've done it. I've done it. I reached out to Prime. For those who don't know, I absolutely love Prime, which I know that's going to get me canceled, but that's okay. I absolutely love them so much, and I reached out to them multiple times. I'm like, I just want, I don't just send me a PR package. Like that's all I want. I love your guys' stuff. My husband loves your stuff. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that's fine. But at least I tried. That's what matters. So
Wonder if Ethan could grease the wheels a little bit with you with Logan. Like,
maybe,
hey,
maybe I can ask him. Could you imagine he goes and asks Logan? That would be so weird.
well, and I don't think you'll get canceled because like Prime's a good product. Like I like Prime. There's a couple of flavors that I'm not a fan of, but
Same,
like
same.
overall, it's a good product. You didn't say you like Logan.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
That's true, yes. I like him as a wrestler, I will put that out there. I love watching him wrestle. But
we say that a lot on our show, and that's just because like it. On some cases, you have to take the character away from who the person is.
100%.
The fact that he has gotten so good at this in so little time, and like I would say he at this point is a wrestler. He's not a celebrity who tries to, he's a wrestler. He's better than he has any right to be. But
I agree.
like
It's
you
crazy
can't
how
question that.
talented he is.
Um, and unfortunately, we could say that about a lot of people nowadays of things that have come out about other people. And it's like, well, I mean, they were good in the ring, horrible human beings, but great in the ring.
Right.
Is there any difference between Renae, the wrestling fan, and the content creator, between those two?
No, I'm 100% myself. I know people may think that like, oh, you overreact all the time. Like, no, everything I do is genuine. Like it's me. Like this is just who I am. I'm like this outside of doing content when I'm around. So like my dad comes over to our house every month for the PLEs and we watch them together. And my dad and I are a hoot, let me tell you, when we watch wrestling together. And I will say the craziest things, and so will my dad. And my dad's like, I see why you do this for a living because, you're pretty funny sometimes. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Appreciate that. So no, I'm always me. You will never see me be anybody other than that. So
And that's great to hear. I tell people that all the time when they talk about it. I have a couple of friends that have talked about wanting to do something, and the key thing to me is always being authentic. If you're not who you're supposed to be online, people are going to notice that. It's the same thing when wrestlers try to do a character that doesn't fit them. We see it and it's not authentic. We're not going to like it. And it's the same thing in this space. They're going to be able to call you out on your bullshit if that
I've
is.
seen it. Yeah.
So obviously wrestling fans are passionate. I know you see that quite often with people being sometimes not so nice about how they want to say things and pull things across. What has your experience been dealing with that kind of the good, the bad, and the completely unhinged side of the wrestling fandom?
Oh God. Let me just say the IWC is passionate. I'm gonna just put it that way.
That is the nicest way I've heard anybody say it.
I'm trying to be nice. I have been attacked a lot for a lot of things that I have opinions on, and whether it's something so stupid or something I don't even know. They get really mad at you if you don't agree with what they agree with, which you're never going to change my opinion. Ethan Page should be the Intercontinental Champion. You will never change my opinion on that. Like, I don't care, So I feel like people cannot respect your opinion on things. I've also, I'm sure Wheezy and all them have talked about it, is being a woman in this world. I don't know how to explain that. It's also kind of rough too, because sometimes you'll get those certain people that will tell you like, oh, you don't know anything. Oh, who wrestled in 1995 for this pay-per-view if you know wrestling? It's like anybody can get into wrestling at any time. Like you don't have to be a wrestling fan from the very beginning. I never understood that type of stuff. So I get things like that a lot too, which is whatever. Like I don't care. I don't let that stuff get to me. I don't let it bother me. I've always said the only thing that will ever bother me is if you talk about my family or the people that I love. That's the only thing that will bother. You can talk all you want about me, that's fine, but you don't talk about the people I love. I'm very, very protective of the people that I love or care about. So.
Absolutely. Sorry to interrupt real quick. My kiddo's in the chat. Hey, kiddo.
Oh, hi.
they get kind of antsy if I don't say something. So,
no, you're fine.
So yeah, I mean I'll say it. The fandom's toxic. Like it's so weird that people care so much about what someone else likes. Our motto here, and for everybody watching, buy the shirt. It's in the Etsy store downstairs. But wrestling's a buffet. Like you go into a buffet, you pick anything you want off there. You don't have to shit on the mac and cheese if you don't like it. Just don't get it. Go to the next thing. And so it's so weird that someone will look at it and go, well, you like WWE, so you're wrong. No, I like that. I don't like the other thing. I don't like, we were talking to Sam Stackhouse just this last Tuesday, and like he was talking about death matches, and I was like, you know what? It's not really my thing. I'm not big on the whole death match thing. But I'll watch the rest of a GCW show because the rest of it's amazing to me. Just because I don't like the one thing doesn't mean that the entire product is crap. Like,
Correct.
and that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
If someone likes the deathmatch stuff, that's great for them. That they enjoy that product. They can watch those matches all they want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. It's crazy how they get so mad if you don't like everything that they like. That's the whole point of wrestling. You're supposed to like your own people. You're supposed to
yeah.
not like your own people. You know what I mean? Like that's the beauty of wrestling is you can like whoever you want to like. You can dislike whoever you want to like. It's fine. It's okay.
My kiddo also wanted to say that they love your hair
Oh, thank
and your
you.
makeup is freaking good. So
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much.
yeah, they're amazing. I all my kiddos are pretty great.
They're your kids. They should be.
I would hope so. I hope I did my job. But yeah, the whole idea of hating on somebody because of what they like is just a very redundant thing. Like, and especially the females in the space and the newer fans in the space. I've never understood that reaction of like, well, you don't know what happened in 1932.
Yeah.
And like they're watching this thing now.
Yeah.
In our media group, we actually had a female centric show at one point, and they were both new fans, and
Mhm.
that's exactly how we marketed it. Of these are new fans that are just now watching the product, and I loved watching their show more than most shows because I got to see someone learning for the first time.
Oh
And
yeah.
so rather than coming to someone and going like, "Well, you're not a fan because you don't know about this," well, if you bring up something that ties into something that I know, coming to you and being like, "Hey, did you know this also happened like over here?" and teach them about that. Don't dog them because they don't know it. Not everybody's
That's
sitting
like
there watching wrestling all the time.
That's like the wrestling fans that are like, say Ricky Saints, for example. I don't know, first name that came to my mind. He comes to the main roster and people are like just now learning about him. And then you'll have fans go, well, you should have known who he was in AEW and NXT. And it's like, you don't have to know who they were then. Like, it's cool if you did, but like, you don't have to know that. Like,
Yeah.
you should be happy that they're getting new fans and more people are getting into them. You should be happy about that. Especially if you love that wrestler, you should be happy about that.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the same thing on the like the re-education of like they go there and they start over, right? Like they're a big name in NXT and they start over on the main roster. Well, the main roster, most of those fans don't watch NXT. Most of those
Correct.
fans don't watch AEW. So you have to reintroduce that person. You can't just say we're pushing him straight in. Oba is different. He's a
Yeah,
whole
way
different animal. But
Yeah.
like you can't put Ricky Saints up there and immediately say, all right, well, he's gonna be the world champ. No,
Yeah.
because none of these people know who he is. Let them
Right.
learn about him first, and then we'll get there. Now,
Yeah.
by now, they should have done something with him, but that's a whole other conversation.
Whole other conversation.
Um, on the flip side, what's a wrestling opinion you think gets put out there way too much as far as that people hate?
Ooh. Mm. The Cody hate, to be honest with you. I don't understand it. How people say, "Oh, he's a terrible wrestler. He's pushed too much," or this and this and this, like all these crazy things that they make up about him. And I'm like, weren't you guys wanting him to come back to WWE when he was in AEW? You were pushing for him to finish his story against Roman Reigns, and now all of a sudden, everybody suddenly like hates him. Which I will always say, Daniel Bryan said it right when he said wrestling fans are fickle because they are the most fickle people I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I mean, you can hate Cody all you want, but you're not stating facts about him. Like, I
Yeah,
don't understand. Like, you guys flip on people so fast. I don't understand. The Cody hate drives me nuts.
I'm so glad you said that because that was my exact thought. Like, I loved that Daniel Bryan character because it called out the IWC so well. Of
Yep.
yeah, you loved me until I start getting big, then you hate me.
Hmm.
Why? Like it's so weird that they push and push and push, and then they're like, all right, well, we finally got what I want.
Now we don't care.
No, no, I don't want it. That's
Dolph Ziggler
horrible.
said something online where he said wrestling fans always find the new flavor of the month. Like they just get over people really quickly. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
It's
You're not
absolutely
wrong at
true.
all.
And sometimes it's not entirely their fault. Like, we were talking about Braun and Oba before we started the show. Like, Oba just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, Braun was set to be that next guy, and they're kind of playing off that story now. But,
Yeah.
like, Oba came out of nowhere and was like, all right, well, everybody's
What
liking
did you
him because,
expect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's obviously getting over more. So, but yeah, it's weird that we pull and pull and pull so much to get something we want, and then oh god, now we didn't get what we want. A big one to me, and I had other issues with it, but Cena turning heel. He
Yeah.
finally turns heel, and everybody is
Yeah.
so bad about it. Like it, but
Mhm.
you've been asking for this for 20
Right.
years. You've been asking for him to be heel. He finally gave you something. Just because it's not what you exactly wanted,
Correct.
now you're mad about it.
Right. Honestly, the only thing I hated about it was Travis Scott. There was absolutely no reason for him to be a part of that. But
But
that's I digress.
yeah, that whole Travis Scott rock, like
Oh
I
my
would
god.
love to hear. Like I know we heard it a little bit on Unreal, but of course that's obviously a little scripted too.
Yeah.
I
Oh
would
yeah.
love to hear at someday someone tell the truth about what happened there, because it had to be something monumental for Rock to say, I want to be part of this. And then all of a
And
sudden,
did.
Rock's not part of it. And then we're just going to
Yeah.
shove Travis Scott out there who has no idea what he's doing.
No idea what he was doing at all. As someone who was at that WrestleMania, oh my god. Don't even get me started. Don't even
Yeah.
get me started on that.
Well, and I think that's an epidemic, which seems like they've slowed down on, which I'm glad they have. But like there was an epidemic there for a little while of like there was a new celebrity every week of bringing
Oh my
someone
god,
out
like
there.
Pat McAfee and freaking Jelly Roll. Like, what are we doing? I love Pat McAfee, don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
do. I think he was great on commentary. I loved having him, but him involved in the Randy and Coney storyline was just
I love that we're
terrible.
running that back now without that and just
Oh
letting
yeah.
those two go at it, because
Oh, and
there's
they're killing it.
there's so much story there that it didn't need the bells and whistles. And I know that's what they were thinking is they want this to be as big as possible. So we're going to put these celebrities in it. No, you've got plenty there to work with. You've got
Yeah.
all those years of him being in legacy with them, and him leaving because he didn't get the spotlight he deserved. He could blame Randy for that if we really want to
Mhm.
play that way. And then like him coming back and now he's took Randy's spot. And now Randy's bitter about, like, there's a whole other way you could have taken that. But no, you just
Right.
want to go like, no, Pat McAfee wants to kill wrestling for some reason, which John Cena just did that a few weeks ago. So I don't know why we're doing that now.
Mhm.
It was a weird choice. And as much as I
Jelly
like Jelly
Roll was
Roll,
really
yeah,
weird.
like I love the fact the guy that he got his ass in gear, he lost the weight. Like I appreciate his passion for it, but
Right.
having him be part of a main event storyline made no sense.
No sense.
And
Yeah.
they literally shoehorned him in because he was just
Yeah.
like they were backstage, and all of a sudden he comes up while they're backstage and just kind of interjects himself into it when he was already in a storyline with something else. And I don't remember who he was with before, but it was like there was something going on with him and
Oh, with
another
Kit
wrestler.
Wilson?
Yeah,
I
it
think it
was
was
it.
Kit Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he had that thing with Kit going on, and then all of a sudden, like while he's got that going on, we're going to stick him in with Cody.
Yeah.
Let's finish the other thing. He makes sense over there.
Yeah. Not in the main storyline of WrestleMania. That's crazy.
So I do want to take a step back. You've got the wonderful shirt on, which I love. I love the fact that we have Ethan Page girl shirts. That's
Somebody gave
amazing.
me this, so I'm obsessed with it. I love it.
But before Ethan Page, there was Dolph Ziggler. Now going by a different name in TNA. But what started your fandom for Dolph? What made that so big?
I love that you're asking me about this because not a lot of people ask me about him. So my dad is a huge Dolph Ziggler fan. So my dad was the one that actually got me into him. I'll be honest, I did not like him. I don't know what it was. There was just something about him. I was like, oh, he's cocky and all this. Like, I don't like him. And then I started, obviously, my dad got me into him and everything. And then we went to one of his like very first comedy shows that he did. So it was like something very non-wrestling. And my dad met him before I did, and my dad was like, "I feel like you and him would be great, like friends. Like you guys are so much alike." Blah 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 blah. And I was just like, "I don't want to meet this guy." And then I met him, and he was literally like the sweetest person in the entire world. And then I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with his wrestling, but because of my dad, which I'm grateful for that. And he's great at other things outside of wrestling as well. And he also lives in Arizona, as do I. So that's really cool that we have that in common.
Okay.
For those that don't know that. So, but my dad is all like it's all thanks to my dad for getting me into him because I don't think I would have ever gotten into him if it wasn't for that. So
That's great. I I've been a Dolph fan. Like obviously, the Spirit Squad days is a haze to me because I try not to
Yep.
think about
Yep.
those, but or the Curran White situation either. But him being Dolph Ziggler, like that was great in itself to me.
Mhm.
But we were here for the cash in, which
Oh,
I
I was just
still
gonna say
think
that.
is the best cash in. Like I
Oh
no
yes,
nothing wrong with Seth, but I still think that was the best cash in because we were there and that pop was insane.
you were there.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous. Oh my god,
yeah, it was
I'm
so,
getting chills just talking about
yeah,
that. That's crazy.
it was so cool. Like it, and yeah, he's one of the few that I think did the Money in the Bank right,
Hmm.
because he teased it all the time.
Yeah.
He'd come out there like he was going to cash it. No, 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 not doing that right now. But you
Yep.
thought he was going to. Like he'd run down to the ring. He'd look like he's about to get the briefcase. No, no, not going to do it.
Right.
That's an awesome tactic to do in the
Hmm.
storyline, and not
Yeah.
just like I appreciate the ones that call their shot and say like I'm going to do this at this time and this day, but like there's a reason why you can cash it in at any time.
Right.
So
I
why
feel like
not?
Seth did the same thing too. Seth
Yeah,
was teasing it a lot too, which I think that's why his was so good as well.
yeah,
And it was at WrestleMania, which is crazy. I was
yeah,
there for that one. You may have been there for Dolph, but I was there for Seth Rollins' cash in, and that was
yeah.
wild.
No, we were certainly watching that one at home, and that was so smart for them to do that because he lost to Randy. And so you
Yeah.
completely forget about anything with him because you're like, all right, he lost, he's gone, he's done, he's gone for the day. We're not doing this anymore. And then out of nowhere, he just comes in the middle of the match. That's an insane way for that to happen.
Being there for that, I'm telling you, the reaction to that was absolutely insane.
Was
So crazy.
I'm trying to remember, was that also when Hardys came back? Was that the same many or
No,
okay? For some reason,
different one.
I had it in my head that that was the same one.
No, 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 no.
I was going to see if you had two pops that you were really enjoying that day. Um,
I did see 2 cash-ins in person. Dean Ambrose was the other
oh,
cash-in that I got to see as well, so that was really fun too. Because
that was cool.
I love the Shield, so they all got to be champion the same night, was so cool.
Kind of speaking of the Shield, and so we can kind of get into a little bit of wrestling talk. I've had a lot of people in my life say that the OTM Royce Keys thing that just happened gave them
Mhm.
Shield vibes. How do you feel
Interesting.
about that?
I would not say that at all. I have nothing against them at all, but I just don't think that you can call anybody the Shield because that is the Shield. There's only one Shield. I don't think anybody could be like that. I could see the vibes. I understand it. They're all wearing black. They all come out and everything, but no, I wouldn't agree with that too much. But I am excited for this faction because it's very unexpected for that. So I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Royce get something too. Like
Same.
it was again one of those like they called a guy up and just he's just kind of floating around. Like why did we do this if we're not going to use him?
Right.
But that was another one that when they changed their name also that people lost their minds about, and I never
They do that a
understood that.
lot.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
well, and especially now that like they're letting them explain why they got the name, and I love that they're doing that because they're going to let people see like it's not just they're giving them some random name. They're letting them
Right.
kind of pick what they want that'll fit. They just don't want to call them the thing that was already there, which to me that's better for the wrestler because
That's like
if
with Santana,
yeah,
right? Santana came up with his name
yeah.
in
So
NXT.
but if Santana gets released at some point, he can go back to wherever wants to as Santana. So to me, that's better off for him in the long run to not give them that name. Like John Cena's going to be John Cena wherever he goes, and
Cody Rhodes. It's
yeah,
Cody Rhodes.
and they own a little piece of that, no matter
Yeah.
what they do or where they go. We learned that when Cody went to the Indies, and they took his last name,
Yeah.
which I thought was fascinating that we did that.
Yeah.
But then the way he got around that was creative too, because he was married to Brandy, who is now Brandy Rhodes, and so then it was Cody and Brandy Rhodes. So
Yeah. Which
just
made sense.
yeah, a nice way for them to get around that. Let's go back to just kind of the person a little bit though. When you're not watching wrestling, making content, like what's a fun day for you? What's a perfect day?
So my husband and I are Buffalo Bills fans.
Okay.
So We love watching football. I'm so excited that football is back. But outside of that, we love to watch YouTube. We watch Rhett and Link. I actually got to know, if you don't know who they are, I got into them because of my husband. I didn't know who they were. My husband's a big YouTube person. Like he watches
Hmm.
so many people.
I was
And that's
hoping you'd
probably the
bring this up, to be honest.
Oh, really? Okay, so, like, my husband was obsessed with Vine. We're obviously 2 different generations, but he was obsessed with Vine, and I didn't really know much about it, and then that's why he got into YouTube, and he got me into it, and then I was like, "Oh," so, like, we watch Rhett and Link, I love Outdoor Boys. I don't know, he doesn't really make content anymore, but I love his stuff. We watch, oh my god, Sam Bucha, I think that's his name. A bunch of other people, like, my husband got me into all of these YouTubers. Ironically, due to the fact that my husband got me into YouTube, that's how I found Ethan Page, because Ethan Page used to be a YouTuber, and so that's really weird, but Rhett and Link are amazing. I love them, so I've been watching them now for 10 years, which is absolutely crazy.
Hmm.
So we love to just sit there and watch TV. Right now, we're watching all the Harry Potter movies because of the 25th anniversary for the Harry Potter movies. So we just like to chill at home and watch TV and movies, football, obviously. Other than that, we hang out with our friends and we go to the casino. I love going to the casino. I don't know. I have a thing for playing roulette. It's my thing. I was born in Vegas. Maybe that's why I like going to the casino so much. So, yeah, my life outside of wrestling is very, very, very different. Like, all of our friends know that I'm a content creator and they are starting to learn things about wrestling because of me, which is really cool. Same with my husband's coworkers. Like, I think that's kind of cool that people are just like, oh, like wrestling? And I'm like, yes, wrestling. I know it's weird. I know.
But it's fun when you get that hook in them, though, when they start to like it.
Oh, I love it.
One of our best friends, Christy, she's probably in the chat right now, was a wrestling fan like way back when, but hadn't really watched
Mhm.
anything lately. We brought her to a GCW show, and like literally on the edge of her seat the entire time we were there. Just
Aw.
fell in love with it, and she watches Raw and asks me about things all the time. And like I love seeing that fandom start, because obviously, like
Right.
as you've been doing it for a while, you get a little bitter about some of the stuff, and so it's
Right.
cool to see that fresh face of someone that's like, I just love this thing, no matter what it is. Everybody was complaining about Danhausen when he first came out. She fell in love with Danhausen. Like
Oh, I
that's
love
that's
him
one of her
so
favorite things. Um,
Yeah.
I, it was one of those like I liked him just because I knew him before. I watched his stuff
Same.
like you're talking about on YouTube. Like I watched his social media stuff, and it was always so fun. And he would make the jokes about being in the Rock's pocket because he was drinking all the Zoa stuff, like all that stuff. It was
Mhm.
hilarious, absolutely fun.
Yeah. I
And the fact
love
that
it.
he's never out of character, he's just always that guy.
Always that guy, yeah.
um,
It's so funny that you talk about, like, getting somebody into it because, like, my husband did not like wrestling, like, he knew, like, John Cena and The Rock and
yeah.
stuff like that, but, like, knew absolutely nothing about it, and then he started watching it with me, and I love that he tells people when people are like, "Oh, it's fake," and he's like, "Actually, it's really not, like, I've seen what they're doing and the crazy things that they do and what they're landing on and all of this stuff," and I'm like, "Yes! Yes, you're understanding, keep pushing it out there in that universe." So everybody understands it because it drives me crazy when people say that stuff. So
I
just to
think
see him understand it, I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this." Or he starts to, like, enjoy it, and I'm like, "Oh, I love this so much. This is amazing."
Yeah, well, I think that's a cross we're always going to have to bear as wrestling fans of people.
Mhm.
It's fake, it's
Yeah.
scripted. I'll give you that, but
Right.
you know, Mick Foley did drop 20 feet from the top of a steel cage and had a tooth shoved up his nose. Like
Yep.
that happened.
Yep.
So
Right.
as fake as that could be, I guess. Um, what has been the most rewarding part of building the community you built?
Oh, I would say inspiring people to want to do this. I think that's really cool that I've had people tell me like, "Oh, like you're such a big inspiration. Like you're the reason I want to get into wrestling or you're the reason that I want to make content or you're the reason that I like this person or that person and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh, it feels so good to know that like not that I'm making a difference, but just that people see what I do and they want to do the same thing." And I just think that's so cool because I feel like there's enough space for everybody in this community. You may not be as big as some of the people, but there's always room for creators in this. And I think that this is the one thing that we all love so much that it's so cool to see everybody want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just inspiring people is really cool. I really love the fact that I'm able to do that. I think that means a lot to me. And sometimes I don't realize like how much of an impact I actually make on people until I'm told it. And then I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, I love it.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, I want anybody that watches any of our content always to understand, like, if it's something you want to do it.
Right.
We don't do it for money. We don't do it for any of the like, we don't care about any of that stuff. It's literally just 2 hours a week that me and my friend could sit and talk about
Yeah.
wrestling. That's all it's
Right.
for. And if
Yeah.
we never make a dime off of it, we never make a dime. But it's fun. And
Yeah.
people in our media group that we've created now, like, those are closer to me than most of my family at this point. Like,
I feel that.
so I mean, it's crazy that people look at it and go, well, I won't be famous at it. You don't have to be. Like, if
Yeah.
it's something you enjoy doing, that's what
Right.
matters. I remember there was a kid I used to watch a long time ago. He was a YouTuber, and I started watching him because of Rhett Link, actually,
Oh,
because
okay.
they did a show where it was like they were going to the people with the least views on their YouTube and watching a video on their
I do
YouTube.
remember that. Yeah.
And so, like, there was this one kid, and he was just a kid who just sat there and talked for like 15 minutes on a YouTube video, and that was it. Like, it was about random topics. I immediately went and followed him because I'm like,
Oh,
you were just enjoying yourself. That's all you're doing, and that's awesome that you don't care about any of it. You just want to sit there and talk.
right.
Great.
That's time with a lot of these like small creators. Like I follow a lot of them because they make such good content, and I'm just like, don't stop, like keep going. I know it's frustrating if you don't get a lot of views and this and this and this, but like you're obviously passionate about what you love. Like keep doing it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I think it's great.
What has been the most difficult part of being a content creator?
Oh, that's a good question. The most difficult part, I would say sometimes I get very burnt out on content. I feel like sometimes I need to step back and be like, okay, I need to take a break for a little bit and I need to like enjoy life outside of social media because I'm on social media a lot. Obviously, it's my job. Like I'm supposed to be on there. And it's just like sometimes I'm like, I need to take a break. Let me go spend time with my dad, or let me go spend time with my husband, or let me go on a run. Like go
Mhm.
touch some grass, as Weezy would say. Like go do something. Because I feel like we get so consumed in this so much that it's like sometimes you need to take time for yourself and not let it fully consume you. So I would say definitely that it can definitely drain you for sure and feel you like make you feel very burnt out on things. But
That's a great point. So one of the side projects I have is I have a little show I do called Open Challenge, and we
mhm,
talk about mental health. And the last episode we did was about burnout, and I brought up the fact that there was a while when we were doing this that me and her got burnout on it, and
yeah,
we completely changed the format of what we do because it was becoming a job. It was becoming tedious because
yeah,
we used to just do like walkthrough shows. Here's what happened on Raw. Here's what happened on SmackDown, and just us writing notes during the show so we could talk about it on the show. Like, it became not fun anymore, and so we had to take a
I
step back.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when I first got known on social media, was doing my filter games, and I was doing them so much that I was, like, getting burnt out, and I'm like, "Alright, I wanna try new things," and that's when I started, like, live streaming NXT, obviously for Ethan, and, like, just trying different things and talking about different things, doing Raw recaps and stuff like that, and I'm like people are like, "I want your games back," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll start bringing it back," but, like, my god, I was doing that for almost every
It
single
can't be
video, and I'm like, "I
everything I do.
can't." Yes, I'm like, I can't just be known for that. I wanna expand and do other things too, so it's cool that's how you know me, but, like, I'm more than just that, so
I'm more than just the filter girl. Um,
like, I
I
swear I could
I
do
feel
more
like
things than
a lot of your stuff is saying you're not blank girl. I'm not just the Dolph girl. I'm not just the Ethan girl. Not just the
yes,
filter girl.
which I have no issue with being those girls, I'm cool with it, but it's just like, I'm more than
That's
that, and
just
I
a
wanna be able to
piece.
express myself. Yeah, like, sometimes I'll post content about non-wrestling stuff, obviously, it won't do as well, but I'm like, it gives me a break away from my usual stuff that I make, so
Yeah.
it's nice, honestly.
Well, and since you brought her up, and like, to kind of tie in the whole mental health and the burnout thing, Wheezy is really big about that. She talks a lot about that a lot when she's just on her lives of her mental health and how she's doing and how she's feeling. I think that's something so important for people to bring in, is to understand that it's okay to talk about that stuff. Like it shouldn't be taboo. It shouldn't be something that we worry about talking about because everybody should be talking about it.
I agree. I agree. I love Wheezy so much. She's a really good friend of mine. She's been one of the OGs that has like been here for me and supported me through everything, and I'm so grateful for her. And I think it's really cool that she talks about her life, like the health problems that she's going through, the mental stuff that she's going through, because I feel like people don't see that stuff. They see what we show you on a screen, but they don't see the actual stuff that we deal with outside of that. Like, I've been starting to be the same way. Like, I started talking about how I had to have surgery in February because I was dealing with some really bad health issues and I had to get that fixed and I had to get that taken care of. And it's like, I think it's good to talk about things, not just mental, but just like talking about yourself and what you're going through, because there's other people that could be going through the same things that you're going through and you don't even know it.
Yeah,
So, I think that's a huge inspiration that she's out there and she's being so honest about those things. I think that's really cool.
absolutely. So props to her for doing that, and props to you too, like for bringing that stuff out. Like that's a hard thing to talk about. I only know because so I've been going on a health journey for the last like 6 months, and I've lost 50 pounds, and I wasn't going to say anything, and then
Congratulations.
Tori called me out on it on one of the shows because she knew if she called me out on the show, I couldn't stop her. And
Yeah.
so like she brought it out and she was like, you need to talk about that stuff. And
Yeah.
in hindsight, she's right. Like other people might look at this and go, okay, well I can do that because
Yeah.
he did it. So like
Right.
there's no reason we shouldn't talk about this kind of stuff and get it out there for everybody to be okay with.
Right.
Um, if you could sit down with any wrestler, and we'll go ahead and say past or present, to have a
Okay.
conversation with, who would you want
Okay.
to talk to?
Ooh, I know what a lot of you are thinking, but that's not who I'm saying. Man, that's a really good question. I feel like I kind of would want to talk to Stephanie McMahon. Um, First of all, she was my favorite girl wrestler growing up. I was obsessed with her. I loved her so much. Just to like understand what it was like to grow up in this business and like just in general, like how it feels to be in this business your whole entire life, like since you were a baby, you've been in this
Yeah.
business, and just like what it's like what's your day like how do like what do you do? You know, like I know she has kids, and then obviously she's married to Triple H, but it's just like, is your life all wrestling now? Like, has it always been like that since day one, or like do you do other things besides that? I've just been so curious about her life. Actually, my whole entire life, I've just been so obsessed with her and just so curious about how her life is, because I just think that's crazy to be in this business. You're literally since you were born,
Oh yeah.
this is your life. So I'm just like curious, like, do you enjoy other things besides this? You have to have other hobbies. You have to. So I don't know. I would love to sit down with her and talk to her about those things. And being a woman in this business too, and like being in the positions that she was in back in the day, if you know how things
Hmm.
were back in the day. So curious like how that was like and the things that she dealt with being a woman in the industry back then. I would be so curious to know what that was like.
I can imagine those would be great stories. I've always been curious with her on like when did that switch flip? Because there was a like you could see the moment when like she was this quiet, mousy little girl,
Right.
and then just out of nowhere, like she understood the assignment and just started being like this amazing character. And so like
Right.
when did that switch flip and how? Because it was just a complete turnaround of like
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was interested and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, let's keep watching this. That's a lot of fun. Um,
Right.
Being that we both talked about being Matt Hardy fans, one of the things that I always kind of think about is like, what is something I wish I could see for the first time again and get that
Mm,
feeling? Matt Hardy coming back during that whole Edge Lita situation,
mhm.
that time for me, like I was enamored with what was going on. And I
Yeah.
wish I could go back and have that feeling again. What's something that you remember watching that you wish you could go back and see again for the first time?
Ooh. I'll give you two. I'll give you one from the old past and one from recent.
Okay.
So from the old past, I would say, ooh, oh my gosh, I don't know. There's so many different things. I would say Mankind from falling off of the cell. I feel like that was such a big moment in my childhood that I
Hmm.
was like, this is he's dead, like he's not coming back, you know. So I feel like I would love to relive that again, just to know like that's probably what lit that fire in me, that I was like, this
Hmm.
is so cool. And
My
then
God, he's
Insane.
broken in half.
Yes, I was gonna say that. I was like, oh, that'll sound cheesy. I'm glad you said it.
I don't mind being cheesy.
And then oh, I don't know. I think this is so basic, but I feel like WrestleMania 40, when Cody won the title, like just that whole thing that they did with John Cena coming out and The Undertaker coming out and The Rock coming out and Seth Rollins coming out as the Shield, like that felt so old school, kind of
Hmm.
like I didn't feel that until that moment, if that makes sense. Like I have never felt the way I felt as a kid until that moment when they did that main event, and they did it so well. And I could rewatch that
Hmm.
match literally all the time. I just wish I could rewatch it for the very first time to hear, Undertaker coming out, to hear John Cena coming out, and like the fact that a lot of people thought Dean Ambrose was coming back when the Shield music hit, because I was one of those. I would love to relive that again, because I feel like that brought my childhood self back in,
Yeah.
and it was just like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I
Well,
feel like we haven't had anything like that since. So
no, to me, close, and it's just because I'm a fan of what ended up happening in AAA. The whole Grande Americano thing, the way they
oh,
booked it in AAA, that
yes,
that made me feel like a kid again. Like just
yeah.
watching that. The thing that I absolutely loved about the Cody ending the story, though, I
Was
was
that
a
40 or 41?
so 40, I think, is when he lost. 41 is then when
Or
he
41
got
was
it.
it? I'm so bad at numbers, but
It,
okay, so
it's
I'm
okay. That's why. So we have a we have a guy in our media group that we work with, and he's always in my chat. Stampede. He is the encyclopedia of wrestling.
okay.
He calls me out on dates and stuff all the time.
Oh,
So
someone's gonna see that in this and be like, Renee, you said it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it's okay. We're
But
we're
okay,
not we're
sorry.
not historians. We're
Right.
just fans. But the thing I loved about it is I was a huge Dusty Rhodes fan, both as
Mhm.
the character and as the booker.
Yeah.
Because he, like, his big thing, and there's a reason why it's called the Dusty Finish. The Dusty Finish is nobody wins. Like, there's a whole bunch of
Right.
shenanigans that happens, and that's the end of the match. That match was so dusty coated because of just all of the stuff that kept getting thrown out there, that it wasn't just a one-on-one match anymore. Now it was everything. It was the entire story coming around. Um, I do admit, I do agree with some of the IWC. I think Stone Cold probably would have been a better choice
Oh
for
yeah.
that instead of Taker. But scheduling things happen. He couldn't do it. Taker being there makes sense too. Just would have
Right.
made more sense with Stone Cold. But I loved that for that reason, because looking at that again, like, it reminded me of like WCW, with all the
Mhm.
craziness and stuff that they would do.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I loved that one. Um,
I will say WrestleMania 40 was really good too. Even though
yeah.
Cody lost, that match was so good.
Well, it was a
I
well
loved
told
it.
story, like,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
we all we all need to be swerved from time to time,
Right.
and so everyone thought he was going to win. That's the story,
Yeah.
right? He finishes the story.
Mhm.
Well, then he lost, and it's like, oh shit! Like, what do we do now? I got to watch tomorrow to see what we're doing, because
Right.
how do we get that back? Um, so it's fun.
And
Um,
they made us wait a whole year for Cody to finally win the title. But it was worth it. It was worth
it
it.
was worth it.
So,
All those tears of him crying about his dad. Um,
oh,
I'm glad that trip's over. Like, because it was like every time he went out there talking about his dad and crying.
I
Like,
know.
okay, come on, go to talk about something else. Um, if WWE gave you the book for one night,
Mhm.
aside from Ethan Page being IC champ,
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay.
what's the first thing you would change?
Oh, I would turn Cody heel.
Okay.
Is that crazy? I don't know. I love Cody so much, but I loved his heel character in AEW and stuff. And so I would love to see him do it. Another thing I would my gosh, I don't know if I say it. I'm gonna say it anyways. I would give Carmelo Hayes the money in the bank and actually do something with him, because what are we doing with Carmelo
Yeah.
Hayes? He's way too talented to not be used. Women's division, I would oh, I gotta be careful here. Women's division, let's see. I would have AJ Lee come back and team up with Paige to go up against the Bella Twins, and we have a rematch. Obviously with Brie hurt right now, maybe that wouldn't work out, but I would love that. And I would have Roxanne win Money in the Bank and cash in on Liv Morgan and take the title off of Liv Morgan.
You mean you finally
That
finished that story we've been telling for the last 2 years?
yes, yes, and I would be like, "Yes, finally, finally we're doing something with Roxanne because I'm tired of not doing anything with her." So,
Absolutely. Uh, we talk about it here. I hate that they dropped the ball on so many things. And I think part of it is because you have, like, we've seen the writer's room now, and it's like
right.
5 people in the same room talking about the entire show. I think they should have a booking committee for every single division. Women should have their own people. Tag team should have their own people. Because then you're not dropping these balls. Because I think that's what happens. Like, we had this great story with Roxy, and her, like, obviously going to eventually turn on Liv and all that. And some people thought maybe they'd swerve us and Raquel would instead. But either way, like, paying off that story somehow. And then other things happened, and then they start focusing on that, and then that story is just kind of in limbo.
Right.
And now we're waiting 2 years, and it's like now it's just now starting to pick up again. Like, they need
They should have done
someone
it
to
a
focus on that.
while ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they
and
should have done it a while ago.
Judgment Day probably should have ended a long time ago too. So
They still should have. I'm glad Finn's away from it. Let
yeah.
me tell you, I'm glad that they have him on SmackDown and he's doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I hope they eventually sneak him back into the main
I
event,
would love
because
for him to win the main title. Just he deserves it after only having it one day last time he won it. Like, come on, you got to give it to him again.
yep. Well, and
One.
also that horrible match he had with Bray.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't know what that seizure thing was outside, but
Yeah, when the lights were going boom, 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 boom. Like, what are we doing?
yeah,
What is going on?
I think I was having a seizure. I'm not sure. If you could bring back one wrestler to the Fed who currently isn't there, who would you bring back in?
I'm gonna say John Moxley. Listen, I know he's happy where he is, and I love that for him. But God, do I want the Shield reunion just one
Mm-hmm.
last time? Just one last time. I would love to see him come back one last time. If not him, bring Nick Nemeth back again. I know they already brought him back for the John Cena tournament.
All the time.
Okay, I know that, but just
Well, no,
bring him
they
back.
brought in they brought in Dolph Ziggler. They didn't bring Nick Nemeth.
Which I thought was interesting. I wonder why they didn't have him be Nick Nemeth. Maybe not enough
Yeah.
people know him as Nick Nemeth. I don't know.
I don't,
It's
well,
very weird.
with them parting with TNA, I didn't understand that one. Like, I understood the Zack Ryder thing because
Right.
Cardona hadn't really been in the lexicon of WWE in so long, but you're
Right.
partnered with TNA. You've been
Yeah.
touting their show, so
Yeah. So it's like, why would you not have him be Nick Nemeth? That doesn't make any sense.
but
But it was good to hear his old theme song again because I
yeah,
think it's a banger. So I was very happy to hear about that. But yeah, those would be the two that I would say.
I like those. Um, I'm hoping maybe we can get that kind of stuff happening. We were talking a little bit before the show started. Like, that I saw an interview today with Tony Khan where he was talking about the John Cena thing, and they were asking, like, well, would you have been okay with Edge being part of the John Cena retirement? And he was like, you know what, I was never asked, but if I was asked, yeah, like, I would have thought about it. We
God,
could have tried to work something out. And so I'm hoping that that opens that gate, because
yeah.
them working together would make so much money. Like, just take the egos away from it, give us some fun stuff, work together on it better than you've worked with TNA, because that hasn't worked very well. But
Right.
you know,
Yes.
just have some of that crossover. It'd be a lot of fun. You know,
Matches that we would get. Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah.
Crazy. Give me MJF versus Seth Rollins. Just give it to me. I need it. I need it in my life.
I would personally love him and Miz just because of
Ooh,
all the comparison.
that's a good one. Okay, I'll give it to you. That's a good one.
Well, it's one match you can watch 100 times and never get tired of.
Ooh. I have two, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously WrestleMania 41 of Cody and Roman. I could watch that a bazillion times. My second one would be Ethan Page versus Dr. Wagner Jr. at Halloween Havoc. I think that was one of Ethan's best matches that he's ever had, and I could watch it all the time. I was also there for that match, not to brag, but I think it was literally one of his best matches that he's ever had, and it actually made me become a fan of Dr. Wagner Jr. I didn't know anything about him until he started feuding with Ethan, so
Yeah.
it's such a good match.
That's what I loved about them bringing this tournament to Raw, because we're getting to see some of these luchadors that the
Yeah.
normal fan doesn't get to see. So
Right.
now, why we're ending up with Ray versus Penta, I don't understand. Like, first time we get them together and it's as a match against each other.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. But
It is
as
what
you
it
were
is.
saying about AAA, like I didn't know anything about them until Ethan and Chelsea won the tag titles in AAA, and they
Yeah.
got me to start watching it. And I'm like so grateful that they got me into it because my God, there are so many talented people in AAA that I like became obsessed with. Like La Parka, I think he is the coolest character ever. I love him so much. But just like the fact that like Dr. Wagner Jr. as well, I'm like, I wouldn't have known any of these people if it wasn't for that. So I think that's really cool that I got into it because of that.
Yeah, it's a great branch out, like to be able to see that, and I do wonder if Tripp is a little hesitant because Taker's doing a little better than him in booking, as far as I'm
A
concerned.
little. Did you watch the Chad Gable? Sorry,
Yeah.
Grande Americano match? My
Oh.
God, that was such a good match.
Um.
So good.
I, just shout out CVV again. The interview that he did with Chad, him talking about the advice that he got from Taker. He said he was having a hard time kind of getting into this match. Like he couldn't really wrap his head around it. And he was like, it just took Taker. He pulled me aside and he looked at me and said, all right, think about this. You were doing this gimmick that he is getting over. You left and he took everything from you. Your spotlight, your character, everything. And he's doing it better than you did. And he's like, at that point, he was like, at that point, I was a pit bull. Like I realized what my motivation should have been this entire time. Because he took the entire thing that he created and he started.
And he made it 10 times better. I'm sorry.
No, he did. Oh my God. He made that where it was a beloved character. It wasn't just a joke anymore. And that's why I always tell people gimmicks aren't bad. It's if the people believe in it.
Right.
Like, I'm one of the few, I loved Eugene. I know it's a problematic character now. I get that. We couldn't have that today. Right. But Nick Dinsmore did that so well. It was so fun. He was so bought into it. Like, I loved that character because he believed in it. If he would have went out there and half-assed it, then I probably wouldn't have liked it. But that's why I didn't like Grande Americano when Chad did it, because it was obviously a joke. That's so bad. That's all we were doing it for.
So bad, yeah. People hated it.
Yeah. Well, and then we got the Creed brothers under mask too, and that was weird.
No, that was weird. That was weird.
Yet for some reason, when Pete did it, like, and Tyler, they were fine. But again, they bought into it. Like, they were doing everything. They weren't just themselves in masks. But oh well.
I think it's also crazy how different wrestlers are booked in AAA than they are in WWE. Like, Dominic in AAA is like up here, and on the main roster, he's
losing to Danhausen.
Yes, like, what are we doing? Same with Damian Priest when he showed up to AAA that one time. It was like he was a different person.
Yeah,
I don't explain it. It's just like when they get to AAA, they're just so much better. I don't know what it is.
Legado Fantasma. Like, those boys went down there and they're killing it down there now.
I know.
And it was just that change of venue, that change of, like, the crowd, put them fresh, you put them in front of their people. Like, that's going to change everything about what's going on. The Dominic one drives me insane because I don't understand how he is their grand champion and you have him, and nothing against Danhausen. I love Danhausen.
Same.
But having the grand champion lose to Danhausen, why?
Human Money's on a pole match was something.
And it's when it's at the same time too, because like the Grande Americano thing, they would literally be on a AAA show, killing it, and everybody's loving it. And then they switch who's the face and the heel when they get to the main roster show, and they make it a joke. Yeah, like it's so disconnected. It's like, if you're not going to do the same thing, then just don't cross them over. Let them stay over there and finish their thing. But I digress. I could talk about that all day. Real quick, let's do some rapid fire. Favorite wrestling entrance?
Favorite wrestling entrance would be... I don't know. Right now I'll say Penta.
Okay. It's very entertaining.
So good.
A lot of sparklers.
A lot.
Favorite finisher?
RKO.
Always a good pick.
Yeah.
Favorite wrestling theme?
I would say Kingdom, but if not Kingdom, I'm gonna say Voices. That's my absolute favorite theme song of all time.
Heel or babyface?
Heel.
It's always the fun answer. You get to have more fun as a
Always.
heel.
Yep.
One wrestler you think deserves more flowers? I think I already know this answer, but
I'm not gonna say Ethan Page. I know what you're probably thinking. Wrestler deserves more flowers. I'll say Carmelo Hayes.
I don't disagree with that at all. Um, Most overrated wrestling trope.
What does that mean?
Uh, like the common things that happen in wrestling. It's over and over again. So like 13 finishers in a wrestling match, or
That is pretty annoying, honestly. I would give you that to you doing it consistently when it's supposed to be a finish for them to be done with the match and then they keep repeating it over and over and over again. That is a really good one. Actually, I'll take that one.
all right. Favorite wrestling snack?
Snack?
Yeah.
Ooh. Sour candy. I eat that on my lives every Monday. I don't know why.
Any particular sour candy or just anything sour?
Recently, it's been freeze-dried Jolly Ranchers.
Those are
Very
good.
good.
Uh,
So good.
and as much as I didn't think I'd like them, the freeze dried M&Ms are
Are they
really
good?
good. They're really good.
I've only had Skittles and Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, those are really good. My favorites are the sweet tarts though. The sweet tarts were
Ooh,
amazing.
that
Um,
is.
One wrestler who would absolutely not you would not want to argue with.
Ooh. Because they're good on the mic or just in general, I would not wanna argue with them.
I would say probably that they're good on the mic.
Ooh.
Like you don't want to
CM
you.
Punk. CM Punk. I would never wanna argue with him because he would destroy me. So I would say CM Punk.
Mine's always seen it because when he was back in those thugonomic days, like
Ooh,
he
that's a
would
good
tear you apart.
yes. My
Um,
favorite this is so random, but my favorite thing about John Cena is when he called The Rock out for having his stuff written. Oh, it's still good. I still watch it all the time. I was like, "God, bro, he was killing people."
Absolutely.
I digress. I digress.
That
Okay.
that was a great like it was a passing of the torch at that point. It's like Rock was
Oh, yeah.
always the best, and then at
Yep.
that moment, nope, Cena passed him. Um,
Wild.
Finish the sentence. Wrestling is
Okay.
better when
Mm. We all enjoy it and not attack each other.
I think that's a perfect message. For the closing question, as I said, we talk about wrestling being a buffet here. That there's a little bit on the table for everyone, from classics to chaos to comfort food, all of that stuff. So as we end this, what are 3 things on the wrestling buffet that you are eating right now?
Like actual food?
No, the like
Oh.
three things in wrestling that you're absolutely enjoying.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so I will say El Grande Americano. Everything that they're doing with him right now is amazing. I hope he beats Dominic. I'm sorry, not sorry. Uh, Second thing that I'm enjoying is the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes redo feud. I think they're finally doing it right, and I am obsessed with it, and I love it. And then lastly, I will say Solo being a face. I think it was the best thing that they ever did. And
Solo
pew
dolo.
pew, I love him so much. So thank you for turning him face.
Absolutely. I have never laughed so much as him doing the Matrix and
Oh
LA
my
Knight behind
god.
him.
Oh,
So great.
you know what's funny is Solo actually, because I'm not an LA Knight fan, but Solo like actually got me into like starting liking LA Knight.
I'm the same
It's
way.
weird.
Which is weird because I was a big Eli Drake fan. And I don't know,
Same.
like just the transition to WWE, like something's missing.
Yeah,
Um,
see, thank you. I say that all the time. His
but
character is just not it.
that connection to me, that's like rock and sock. It's something that I
Yeah,
didn't know I wanted, and
right.
now I want it. Like I just want them to be a tag team, go get the tag titles. Like I want them to
Just do everything,
yeah run
everything.
shot through that because
Give him
Jesus.
the money in the bank. Have Solo have money in the bank and just run around and be a mess with it. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Uh, yeah, pew pew indeed.
Pew
Um,
pew.
all right. Before we finish and go home, the floor is yours. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow your work, anything you've got coming up that you want to plug.
Okay, so obviously I'm Hey It's Renee on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X and YouTube. I will say that you should be subscribed to me on YouTube because I am working on interviewing Ethan Page. We are getting closer to that. That's all I will say. So make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel for that because that's going to be interesting and
Props
fun.
to you.
And I
That's a
hope
lot of hoops.
it's been a lot, let me tell you. And it's not with Ethan. It's
Nope.
with WWE trying to get things together. And I've had a lot of help getting there. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So
It's great. Um, Seriously, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. This has been something that we've really loved doing, getting a chance to sit back, both with content creators, with wrestlers, getting to know the person that's behind the character. So I appreciate you bringing down some of the walls, talking to us about some real stuff, talking to them about the content creation, because that's a big thing I know a lot of people think about doing. And so hearing someone at your level say, just do it, like that's a big thing. Hopefully everybody is watching and gets a better understanding of that tonight, of what's going on and how to maybe move forward. So just thank you for all of that. And with that, guys, we are officially kicking out. In the meantime and in between time, keep watching, keep talking, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
bye.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at 2.
We stand together with pride.